This is John with Cruising Addicts, and we sailed on Carnival Pride back in December of 2023. And this is our review of Carnival Pride. We're going to give you our likes and our dislikes of this ship. Like number one of Carnival Pride would have to be their pools. There's 3 pools on this ship. 2 of them are larger pools. The Venus pool is the main pool and it's midship. You also have the Apollo pool, which is forward. And then the Serenity area, the adults only area, has a pool as well, but it's a lot smaller. Like number 2 for Carnival Pride. Carnival Pride has a very large Serenity adults only area. There's a lot of bar space, plenty of loungers, lots of clamshells. During our cruise, we never felt like it got overcrowded. Maybe midday would start getting more crowded, but you didn't have to go out and reserve a lounger or a clamshell early in the morning like you have to on some ships. Like number 3 for Carnival Pride, we really enjoyed the beautiful Italian decor and theming throughout the ship. Very elegant and just brings you back to Italy and makes you feel like you're cruising in the Mediterranean. Really love the decor of the ship. It felt so relaxing and so European, but great job on the design of the ship. Like number 4 for us was the Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. It was our first time dining in the Steakhouse on a Carnival ship, and it was absolute perfect experience. I have a review of that experience in another video. I'll link that in the description, but it was an awesome experience. Everything was perfect. It was almost too perfect, but great ambiance, excellent service. The food was cooked to perfection. The views were amazing. And check out that video for more details of the Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. Like number 5 of Carnival Pride for us was the outdoor public space. Lots of it, plenty of loungers, never felt crowded outdoors. This is a smaller ship, around 2,200 passengers, but it doesn't feel like a smaller ship. There is a lot of public space on this ship, and everyone seemed very dispersed. I would say out of all of our experiences, this was the least crowded feeling ship that we've sailed on. And from what we've heard from others, these Spirit class ships are like that. Like number 6 for us, we really liked the Taj Mahal main show lounge. It was very big, lots of seating there and lots of great views, 3 levels, and it is definitely the best show lounge that we have watched a show in on a Carnival ship. Quality of shows was also very good. We enjoyed quite a few while we were on this cruise, and you will enjoy a show in this lounge. Number 7 for us, the ship was in very good condition, excellent condition. Everything was immaculate on it. Usually you'll find some rust somewhere, and I cannot recall a time that I saw any rust on this ship. It did have a recent dry dock. I can't remember exactly how long ago, but it wasn't long before we cruised. And it showed. They did a lot of work on the ship, and it really showed. I cannot imagine a ship being in better shape than this ship was considering its age, but you will be pleased by the condition of the ship. And the public spaces were very clean. One of the cleanest ships we've been on. Our 8th like of the ship, we are casino players, and we really enjoyed the casino on this ship. It was very large for the size of the ship. Had a great selection of games. Most games were working. There may have been 1 or 2 that didn't work at some point in the cruise, but it wasn't many. And the casino never felt overcrowded. During the day it could get pretty busy, but it wasn't like you couldn't find somewhere to play. So I think there's plenty of capacity there. We had a great time playing in this casino, and if you're a casino player, you will enjoy this ship. Now, as great as everything was on this cruise, and this was one of the better cruises that we have been on and one of the most enjoyable ships that we've been on, there was a couple of things, and most of them are a little bit on the nitpicky side. The first thing that we disliked about this ship, and I think it's just a design thing, we're used to the ships with the larger atriums that are more of a focal point, and this ship doesn't have that. It's not a big deal. It does have an atrium, but it's very small compared to what you'd expect in some of the other ships like the Conquest class or Fantasy class, and it's not a focal point. Not a big deal, but just something to point out. So our dislike number 2, and this is kind of disappointing and a little bit surprising for us because of the service being so good on the ship, and there did not seem to be like an understaffing at all. Everything was staffed up like it should be. But one thing that surprised us a little bit was the buffet food was really not that good on the ship at all. Most of the time the food was cold or undercooked, like watery eggs, which I don't like the eggs at the buffet anyways, but when you're in a crunch and you don't have time to go to the main dining room, sometimes it's your only option. Most of the time it was just stuff being cold and undercooked and just rushed. It looked like it was really rushed to be prepared. Dislike number 3, and this wasn't a huge deal. We have actually worked in housekeeping ourselves, so we understand the challenges that housekeeping departments go through. And the room was very clean, but there was quite a few items left from the previous guest. There was 7 or 8 hangers from a previous guest. It actually worked out because we needed the hangers anyways. But there were some plastic hangers left behind, and it's not a huge deal. It's not like finding something on the floor or a pill or something like that on the bathroom floor. So it wasn't a huge issue to us, but it was something that, you know, when you're paying attention to details that you should catch. Our dislike number 4 may sound like a strange one, but to us it was an issue because we do like to take a lot of photos off the ship's public space up on the higher decks. And I guess this is probably more for comfort and safety, and it's really no fault of whoever designed it, but there's a lot of glass walls, barriers like externally in the public areas. When you get up on the bow of the ship, there's not a lot of places you can go and take a photo from the ship without having that there. And I understand what the purpose of that is for. You know, you have a lot of winds when you're underway, and it's for guest safety and comfort. But just expect that when you're on the ship, you're going to have to hunt for places to go to be able to take a picture of a sunset. Dislike number 5, and this didn't really affect us. We really didn't have kids on this cruise with us, so it wasn't really an impact for us, but we noticed it and thought it was kind of weird and awkward. But the kids clubs, Circle C and Camp Ocean, are in very awkward spots. Very difficult to get to unless you know exactly where they're at. They're located all the way in the very front of the ship, all the way forward, and they're in front of the main show lounge, and you have to go like a deck below or a deck above them to get to them. Dislike number 6 for us, and this kind of plays off the last dislike. The ship had kind of a strange layout. Things were very kind of dispersed, but you know, that could be a plus because that probably also lends to why the ship doesn't feel so crowded, because everything's planned out to be spread out throughout the ship. And it's not like a fantasy class ship or a conquest class ship where you have central areas and you have decks that have everything, and then there's just decks of cabins by themselves. This ship has stuff spread out throughout it, so it takes a while to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad. It did feel kind of chopped up as far as like where things were located. So it took us the first day or 2 to be able to get comfortable with where everything was without having to refer to the deck maps. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to check out our Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse review video, and also we have a tour of this ship. Check that video out as well. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, liking this video, subscribe to our channel for more great content, and visit our website cruisingaddicts.com. Happy sailing.